Hey, it's me, Tammy B, and this is my review for Braxton Family Values. All right, you guys, so a lot of back and forth, nothing too major, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So it basically starts off where we left off with Trina and Jason at the restaurant, and he gives her a box. So it's just like, oh my gosh, she opened this box slow as pond water, you guys. So finally she opens it, and it's not a ring after all. It is a key. And didn't I say that, you guys? So it turns out it's the key to bar chicks. And that was one of the things I thought it could possibly be. So now they are officially, well, I won't say they're officially ready to open because that's what I assumed it to mean. Like, oh, the key. Okay, so we're ready. But then she's like, oh, so we can get our license now? I'm like, for me, the key means we're ready. Like tomorrow, I can walk in there and everything is done. But hey, the key, I guess, clearly meant some sort of step in the right direction. So it was a pink key, and then he was like, oh, it has dual meaning. That it's the key to bar chicks and also the key to your heart. And she was like, no. And at first it was like, dang, but I guess she was saying that because the key was pink, and she said something like, I hope the key to your heart not pink or something. I don't really know what that means, but whatever. So that's one step. So the next thing is the Christmas song, you guys. So they're meeting in Atlanta and everybody is there except for Tamar. So of course it's looking like, oh gosh, here we go. So they decide to do Silent Night as one of the songs, and they kind of go in the booth one by one and just do a little riff or just a little practice or whatever. When Tracy goes in there, she's so nervous, you guys. And I'm like, why? I thought this was your dream or whatever, right? But she hasn't sang with them in so long, like in a studio. I know she went ahead and did background a few times this season and last season, but this is the first time she's actually in the studio recording with them. So she sounded good to me, you guys. I mean, she hit a few flat notes or whatever, but at the end you could tell she could still sing. But even the sister told her, we could hear your voice quivering, like, why are you so nervous? So I really hope she gets it together. So then Trina shares the key story, you guys. So and once again, she real slow with the stories. So I'm like, what is the deal with you in this key story? Is it just because it's your part you want to drag it on out? But so even Tawanda had to hurry up. Okay, he invited you to dinner. He gave you a box. What size was the box? Like trying to edge it on because she was just like slowly telling the story, and they were like, we don't care about all that. They just want to know basically, did he propose or not? Is the point, right? So anyway, um, she basically pulls the key out of her bra and shows them like, no, it wasn't a ring after all. It's the key. Or she didn't even say what it was. She was like, okay, key to what? Like y'all moving in together or what? And she explained, oh, it's the key to bar chick. So they're like, yay, and clap. And then in the confessional, Tony threw a little shade. She was like, finally, because ain't this been going on for 2 years? And this has been going on for a while. But I thought at first it wasn't an actual bar. They just like set up at parties. So I didn't think she was going to have a store. But clearly that's been the plan all along, right? All right. Oh, and then she pulled the key out of her bra and they were like, why are you keeping it there? She was like, that's my favorite spot. Like, I thought that was funny. So the next scene is Tamar, you guys. And I don't know, like I'm Team Tamar, but everything she was saying was just an eye roll because she was just like, oh, I know my sisters are working on the album, but whatever, my album come first. And I get that. Yeah, your album come first. You started it first and Tony just pulled this out of nowhere. But I'm like, come on now. You could have went to Atlanta. You're not doing nothing that much. And perfect example because they got in the studio. She was all writing stuff. And her and LaShawn, they was just twirling around. Like Vincent even got up and walked out because it looked like they were just playing. You couldn't have played in Atlanta with your sisters doing the album or, something. But what I did like was seeing LaShawn Daniels and TC, the songwriter. Like, I kind of like just seeing these people whose names you hear or read on albums, like behind the scenes, just to see, So that's cool. They getting a little camera time. So like I said, I thought Vincent walked out because he was just tired of them playing, but whatever. I guess he went to go get Logan, and they brought Logan. He's so cute, you guys. I thought it was funny that she was like, "Oh, Vincent brought Logan for a play date with mommy." I'm like, who has a play date with their own mom? Like, isn't this just called mothering or something like that? But hey, I'm not gonna comment on that any further. And it was kind of cute. They was like praying with Logan or teaching him how to pray or something. And he was saying little stuff like, won't he do it? And hallelujah and amen. I was like, y'all better go ahead and train up the child in the way that he should go. So the next scene is Trina and Tawanda working out. And I was like, this is the second time I think they went to the gym. So I guess they know this little trainer, but basically it was just a little scene so that they could talk and they could both express that they no longer want to be doo-wop pop pop chicks for Tony. So Tawanda said it first, and Trina was like, I'm glad you said it because I feel the same way. Tawanda wants to do her acting and Trina wants to do bar chicks. So they are going to tell her that this Africa trip is their last time. So they're a little bit nervous about it, you guys. They don't know if Tony's going to be like, oh, all right, like whatever, or if they're going to be like, well, I was going to replace you anyway. So it's so many different responses, you know? So hopefully it all works out. And to be honest, I think that Tony is just trying to keep her sisters on. Anybody could be a background singer or dancer for Toni Braxton. She got girls lining up. As a matter of fact, a couple seasons ago, they interviewed a gang of girls. She could still call them. So honestly, I think Toni is just kind of keeping her sisters on and keeping it in a family. I mean, hopefully she doesn't say anything snarky like, oh, I was ready for y'all to go anyway, or y'all not that great anyway. I don't think she'll do that. Hopefully she doesn't have an attitude about it, but it could be bittersweet. Like, you only doing something to do somebody a favor, but then when they don't want to do it no more, it can sting you. So you'd be like, oh, well, whatever, you know. But hopefully it all works out. I mean, they're getting old, and I mean, they're all getting older. Toni is the oldest, so, you know, I can't call them old without saying that to her. But, you know, hopefully it just all, you know, works out. I don't see it being a big deal, them quitting. I was honestly surprised to find out a year or two ago that they was still doing it. So then Tamar is in the studio, or finally goes to Atlanta. Of course, when she gets to the studio, Tony and Tawanda are not there. We're like, oh, here we go with this back and forth. But the thing is, Tamar had nerve. Oh, I thought everybody was supposed to be here today. Oh, so they supposed to practice without you, but when you come, everybody's supposed to be there? So that was just way too much. And even the mom was looking at her crazy. Tracy was looking at her crazy. Because it was just like she was just saying too much. And that was kind of expected. Like, oh, when she ain't there, she ain't there. But when she get there, she's going to run stuff. Talk about remixing one of her songs. Talk about, oh, I don't know nothing about anything. Can somebody tell me what's going on? So she was being a bit too much, but it was kind of expected. It was like, number one, they were surprised to see her there. And then number two, when she was going on and on and on, Trina, the mother, and Tony was, it was Trina, the mother, and Tawanda, no, not Tawanda, Tracy, I was just looking at her like, ugh. But you know what? I do kind of understand where she's coming from. Like, I think remixing one of her songs would be nice, especially clearly if this is supposed to be a Toni Braxton album. She's popular too, so you kind of got to give her something. Like, not as a spoiled brat little sister, but you know, I agree making it fair for everybody. This is your idea, Toni's idea, and to me, Toni is trying to come off like, hey, we didn't do it before. We doing it now or not. Whoever own it, own it. I'm the sister. I'm calling the shots. We need to do it in 3 weeks, and it's coming out October. Take it or leave it. So Toni is becoming a little bit too bossy on it, but at the same time, the fact that it ain't happened, somebody does have to grab the bull by the horn. So then the next session after that, everybody is there but Tamar. So everybody's there, and for some reason, Tracy just storms out, y'all. She has an attitude for no reason. They're all around the piano. So Toni, Tracy, Tawanda, and Trina are around the piano with some guy and look like they're about to practice singing a song, but for some reason, they calling Tracy. She come out with an attitude. She grabbed the sheet music. She like, and walks out, like, for whatever. And as soon as I was like, oh, somebody should go after her because nobody knows why. But as soon as I said that, Toni and Trina went after her, but she wouldn't talk to them. She walked away. She jumped out the car. She started walking down the street. So she would not tell them why she was acting crazy. So they let her leave. So they don't know why, y'all. And they talked about it a little bit more. And Trina mentioned that somebody said something about Tracy's vocal range, that it wasn't as high. So that could have been a trigger. And then also the fact that she just never, even though she's been wanting to do this, like, she's never really done the album with them. So maybe it's just nerves and this is how she's acting out. the producer Tricky, he made some jokes like, "Oh, Tracy been running out since 20 years ago," which was funny because I was like, I would think maybe he would have said that about Tamar, like she been running out forever. But the fact that they all kind of go through that, that's kind of interesting, and it's kind of cool to see that there's one producer they've been with like forever. And Tricky is another one. In addition to LaShawn Daniels and TC, that you hear a lot about vaccine, so it's cool to see him on screen too. So that was it, you guys. And the last scene was they had a quick little dinner. Everybody was there except for Trina, everybody was there except for Tracy. So Tamar and Tawanda get there first. They make a bet on if they're first or not. Turns out they are. And then Tony, the mother, and Trina come. So they are having a nice little dinner. And they kind of want to talk about Tracy, but it's not fair that they talked about Tracy so many times already without her being here. So nobody brought it up. So basically, Tamar asks if everybody is going to MegaFest or not. As we know, at the beginning of this season, TDJ's got them all in check, told them they was brats and needed to stop acting like that and work together. So MegaFest is his event that he has every year. So Tamar has agreed to do it, and she's still down. But Tony and the other girls are going to Africa. So clearly, they're not going to go. Tony's excuse was that they ended up moving the date, so she can't make it. And Tamar is just like, well, I signed up for it, so I'm going to still do it. And, last time Tamar did it, she was like a headliner, so of course she going to still do it. But I guess maybe they were supposed to do a sister song together, so it does suck to hear that this is a gospel thing. You guys are doing a Christmas album or inspirational songs, and now you guys are not going to do it. So that is kind of sucky, so I do see why Tamar is upset. But at the same time, you don't show up to everything either. So that's that. So then they start talking about the album, and Tamar asked about the date, and they were like end of October. And she was like, well, my album come out in September. And they were like, so she was like, oh, I don't want me to be on something else that comes out so quick to my real album. And then Tony was just like, don't do it. And I don't know if that was editing and maybe it was a long time in between, but I wasn't here for Tony just be like, well, don't do it then. I understand she's frustrated because it's been 2 sessions that Tamar's missed already. But at the same time, hey, you not doing the event that she really wants y'all to do. Like Tony is so used to being the star. And I know I sound like a Tay Martian fan right now. I know everybody probably like, what? But this is just my opinion. And like I said, I get, as the older sister, I get Tony's perspective. Like, look, we don't have time for the back and forth. Just don't do it. When people kind of doing the same thing over and over, you do get exasperated, and maybe at the wrong time, you kind of blurt out, oh, just don't do it. So I do understand where Tony is coming from, but I just think at the dinner with the mama, and y'all had just got there, and she just asked a simple question. So I was here for, and first of all, who puts out a Christmas album in October anyway? Like, they could have did it. They could do it like middle of November, try to appease everybody. Come on, you guys. All y'all got to do is everybody agree on a song, or it's 5 of y'all, everybody pick one song. Agree on a date, it's 5 of y'all, everybody pick a date, throw it in a hat, whichever one come out win. Like, come on, you guys can do this, So I get all the frustration, but at the same time, from a business perspective, I'm just like, hey, pick a date, boom, pick a song, boom. Everybody show up this day. Y'all good singers, y'all been singing for 20 years. I think you guys can knock out 5 songs in a 8-hour day. I really do. Like, I know I'm not a professional singer and know what it takes, but just seeing how they've worked individually, I think they can do that. And yeah, so like I said, Tamar was making a big deal about the date, the group album coming out close to her solo album, but they called her out and was like, well, your album came out the same day Tracy's album came out. And I think she started looking it up on her phone just to see if it was true or whatever. And apparently it was. And I do remember that too. So I don't remember it being a big fuss about it though. But I think because that happened when the show was off season. But hey, everybody's album, well, of course Tracy's didn't do as good as Tamar's, but I don't know. But long story short, it was a debate about the date. And the mama got mad. She was like, look, I'm leaving. This is too much. I don't trust y'all. Y'all doing too much. Are we going to do it or not? But they stopped the mom from leaving. It's like, no, we are happy. We are excited. We're just trying to iron out some kinks. Just stay. So the mama stayed for a little bit, and it was just tension. It was just silent, and it was just, that was it. It just seemed like we don't got no conclusion. Some going to MegaFest, some not. We don't know the album date or not. Da 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 da. So it was just kind of quiet from that point on. And Trina tried to break the ice. It was like, how about those Dodgers? And I had to laugh because I be doing that in my family. I remember one day last year, or yeah, I think it was last year, we was all at my cousin's house and we kind of got into it about something. It was like this awkward silence. So I was like, yeah, so how about those Lakers? And some people laughed, some people were still mad, and some people actually even commented thinking I was talking about the Lakers for real. But so it was kind of funny to be like, yeah, that's my little icebreaker too, like bringing up the weather or the Lakers or something. So that was kind of funny. But y'all, nobody was here for it. Nobody moved, nobody smiled, nobody did anything. So that didn't really work. So that was it, you guys. And then they flashed a scene with Tamar at the end talking to somebody. So I don't know if she was talking to Bishop Jakes or what, but that's what it kind of sounded like. Because she was like, I'm looking forward to seeing you soon, or working on whatever we've been working on. So I guess that's who she was talking to. And I hope so, because, like I said, even though I like her, I the tantrums can be a bit much. So if she is communicating with Bishop Jakes that much and calling them, hopefully some of that calmness and spiritual blessings kind of rub off on her and just rub the little roughness around the edges off. So that was it, you guys. So that was Braxton Family Values. I mean, I don't think I missed anything. So that's it, you guys. I hope it all works out. I hope they just stop being bratty. They are great singers. They are great songwriters. I really think in 3 weeks they can do. I don't even think it really needs to be 5 songs. I said 2. I said that last week. A Christmas song and an inspirational, a regular song. And be done with it. They can do it. So I hope Tracy calms down and get over whatever fear. And Tamar was like, my mommy really wants this album. And the mom was telling Tricky that, like, hey, I've been waiting for this album for a long time. I really want them to do it. And so the girls got to hear her say that. And Tamar was like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So I think there's some shakiness on, is this a Braxton's Christmas album? Or is this Tamar or Tony's Christmas album featuring the Braxtons? So I think that part is up in the air. I think, just the songs are up in the air. And like I said, I understand Tony kind of just taking the bull by the horn, but I do think she's being a little bullheaded about it. Maybe just because she's used to being the leader, but I do think it should be a Braxton's thing. And I think I heard Tony say something like, oh, all of this fighting or all of this back and forth on the last album. So if this is the last album, that's what I say. Let this be the last album. Do 5 songs, 1 where each of y'all lead. And I think they can do it in 3 weeks and everybody be on it and be done and have it be a Braxton thing. Just cut it up 5 ways even and be done, y'all. I think we as the fans will love it, and you guys will make money for it. Y'all can all do y'all individual things from that point on and be done with it. They could still do the show, but music wise, this could be it. Because I understand they all got different styles. They all got different age kids. They all got different levels. But give us one more thing with everybody. You see how many people watch your show. So it seems like it would be in the benefit of everybody. So we'll see, you guys. All right, so you know what's up. Give me the thumbs up on this video and go ahead and subscribe to my channel, you guys. Thank you so much for all the subscribers so far, and thank you for all of the video likes and everything, you guys. So go ahead and comment. Go ahead and check me out on Twitter at TammyB_. That's TAMIB and the symbol _ My Facebook page is It Is Me, Tammy B. All right, so I'll see you guys for the next review. It's Friday, Labor Day weekend. You guys be safe, have a good time, be responsible, be safe, and that's pretty much it. All right, bye.